of this chapter, right? So before going to the chapter, let us first find out what Swiflearn is. As you have already have an idea about Swiflearn, that Swiflearn is the India's most sincere learning destination for classes 1 to 10. So over here, all the classes are 100% live and interactive classes where you can ask any sort of doubt. All the teachers who are taking your classes will be able to solve all your doubt. Everything, all the confusion will be solved in the classes only, right? So this is very important nowadays, right? Now coming to the second point which we have, that is the we give personalized attention to each and every student in our batches, because our batches consist of maximum 6 number of students and not more than that. So that help us to keep an eye on you also, and you will be able to ask any sort of doubt in the classes only. There will be no chaos at all, and we can solve all the doubts in the classes. Fine. So, thirdly, which we have over here is a very good dedicated academic mentor team who continuously track and work on the students' progress. So, how the students is performing in the class, how they are doing the homework, how they are performing in the different tests, how they are completing the syllabus, studying or not. Everything is tracked by the academic mentor team, and in the different intervals we will give you the feedback so that you will be able to understand where you were lagging and you can improve yourself, right? Now coming to the fourth thing, which is very important again, that is we cover all the syllabus as per your school examination schedule. So this is very important to be prepared before going to the board exam or the school exam. So you can ask for, or you can request for any sort of topic which is having in your school exam. So we will do those topics first and then we will move on to the rest of the topics, right? So this type of custom request we generally handle. Okay, so these are our general features in Swiflearn, and let us find out what are the key features. So our first key feature is we keep the detailed progress report of each and every students, where we it is already given that it is recorded with how the students are understanding all the topics, how they are performing the homework, how they are performing in the classes, how they are competing with the peer members, the other students in the class only, and also in which topic you were lagging, which topic you need more focus on. Everything is present in the progress report, and we give it to you in certain time intervals, so you will be able to understand where you were lagging, and you will practice those chapters again and again so that you can score better, right? Now coming to the second thing which we have is the Swiflearn academic test series, which in short we call as the SATs. This SAT is a test where you will be able to perform and you will be able to understand where you are ranking and internationally, right? Thirdly, you can take unlimited practice test after completing each and every chapter over here. You can like complete the chapter of all the subjects, and you can take the test, where the test generally include all sort of questions which can be both the subjective as well as the objective questions. Objective, maybe you can see like the true false are there, filling the blanks, match the column. MCQs, definitely one word, one sentence, these types of objective questions we will get, and you will be able to write the answers. As well as we have the subjective test for your school examination also, as well as the board examination. So in the subjective test, what you will have to do is you can write the question answers, you can give the diagram also, and our teachers will check them and give you the tips how to improve your answer and what are the keywords which should be there in the answer, so that you can score better in both the school as well as the board examination, right? So these are the key features which we have in Swiflearn. So to experience all these things, what you have to do, please book a free trial class. All the trial classes are free, so please book it now and experience all these features and learn with us, right? So stay with Swiflearn as you already do that, and I know you have already subscribed our channel. So those who have not done till now, please subscribe our channel, press the bell icon, and never miss any of the updates of the upcoming sessions. Oh, okay. So please stay with Swiflearn, stay with us, like, comment, and share with all your family members and your friends, right? Okay, now let us find out what is our topic of today. Today, as I've already said, that today we will discuss about the light. This is third session of light. In the previous two sessions, we have already studied about what is light, what is the main use of the light, or without light, what would happen, what is the reflection of the light, what are the different types of images which are formed, the real image and the virtual image, and where what are those images actually, as well as the various types of objects like the luminous object and the non-luminous object, right? So these are the different topics which we have already studied in the previous session along with the law of reflection. Now in today's session mainly we will go to a little bit biological portion of this chapter. Okay, we will study about the eyes, because eye is the sense organ, you already know that, which help us to see everything. So we can see because of the eyes as well as because of the presence of light, right? So these two things are very important for looking or for seeing anything. Okay, so let us find out what we will study today. So in today's session, mainly we will study about the inside of the eye, what is present within our eyes, right? Then we will study about the vision of the eye, how we can see the different objects in the in our surrounding, how we can see in the dark room or when it is at the night time where light is less, and how we can see everything during the daytime where there is a bright light of the sun, as well as in the very bright light during the night time also, right? So we will study this vision of the eye in different conditions. Then we will study about the taking care of the eyes, what are the different care we should take of our eyes, because you already know that the eye is a very delicate organ of our body, right? Then we will study about the visually challenged person, how they can feel everything, how they can study, how they read, how they write. These are the different things which we will study in today's session. Clear? Eh? Now let's move on to the eye. So you already know by now that we see everything only when the light is present, right? So the light is coming from the source, and it and coming from them and enters our eyes, it is falling on certain objects and reflecting back to our eyes, and then we can see everything, right? So this is the main funda. We have already studied about the law of reflection and all in the previous sessions, right? Now what is present actually inside the eye? Any idea? Any guesses? What are the eyes made up of? What are the different parts of the eye? What? How can we classify the various parts of the eyes? Yes. Any idea? Okay, so we will study about this. So as you already know that the shape of the eye is somewhat, it is roughly like spherical shape, right? It is round in shape, and we can clearly see the outer coat of the eye, which is white in color. You can see that the outer coat over here is white in color. So other than this outermost coat, we will again discuss about the various other coats, right? So the outermost coat, which is very tough, so that we can protect the inner side of the eye, the different inner parts of the eye, interior parts of the eye from any sort of accident. So the outermost part should be very much rough and tough, right? And this transparent part is known as the cornea. So the cornea is present just in front of this, right? The front portion is known as the cornea and the back portion is known as sclera. So let us find out the classification, or how can we divide the different portion of the mm, eye, and then we will move on to the slides again. Okay? So let me divide the human eye into three main portions. Okay, you can write down this flowchart, because this flowchart is very much important and it will help you to remember the different parts of the eye. Okay, so we can divide actually the human eye into three main parts. The first part are the different coats. Okay, the covering we can say also. Okay, the different layers of the eyes, the outermost layers of the eyes. Then the second thing which we can say, that the second part can be the refractory medium or the refractory media of the eye. Okay, where the refraction actually takes place, refraction of the light. And third part we can say that the protective part of the eyes. Okay, you will study all these things in detail in the higher classes. Just to let you know what are the different parts of the eye, I'm trying to make a flow chart so that it will help you to remember all the different parts of the eyes properly. Right now, under the coats, there will be the three main coats of the eye. First one is the outermost coat, which is known as sclera, which consists of sclera as well as cornea. Okay, so cornea is just the 1/6 front portion of the outermost layer, and the back portion of the eye is known as the sclera, right? It consists of 5/6 part. Just inside the sclera or cornea, there lies the vascular coat, which is richly supplied with nutrition as well as the blood vessels. Okay, so this part is known as choroid. Okay, this is the vascular coat of the eye, and just inside it, inner side of the choroid, there present the retina. You have already studied about the retina, or you already know the word retina, right? Yes. Okay, so this is the nervous cord. Okay, so there are various types of nerve cells which are present within the retina, which help us to see the light, or see the different object, the different colors of the object. It also help us to see during the night time in dim light vision as well as in the bright light vision, right? So the different nerve cells are present in the retina. We will study about the different nerve cells, the rod cells and the cone cells, and these are the three main coats or the outermost covering of the human eye. Right now, let us move on to the refractory media. What are the different refractory media which are present within the eye? The first one, cornea, also helps in the refraction, so we can again say this cornea can come under the refractory media. Secondly, the aqueous humor. Okay, it is a jelly like substance which is present just in front of the lens of the eye. The aqueous humor is present. Thirdly, vitreous humor. It is another jelly like substance which is present in front of the retina. Okay, it is present in front of the retina. Fine. And the fourth refractory media we can say is the lens, which allows the light to pass through it. Fine. So these are the four refractory media which are present within our eyes, which help us to see all the things. Now coming to the two main protective part of the eye. First one, as you already know, the outermost part, that is the eyelid. Right, the eyelid help us to blink the eye. It also help us to like object the different particles to enter inside our eyes from outside, right? Yes, so this is the eyelid, and the second one is the conjunctiva. Conjunctiva is present just beneath the lens. I will show you the portion where the conjunctiva is present, and it is a very common disease, or the infection of the conjunctiva sometimes happened. You have already heard about the name of that, I guess. That is known as conjunctivitis. Okay, so these are all the different parts of the human eye. Okay, so this is in short, you have to know the names of the parts of the eye, and now I will show you the actual image of the eye. Okay, this will help you to remember the different parts of the eye. Now let's come back to the slides again. Okay, so I have already said what are the different coats. So the first outermost coat will be the cornea, then inside it the choroid is present, and inside it the retina is present. Fine. Now you have already got an idea. It is the transparent part, that is the cornea, which is present in front of our eyes, right? Now coming to inside the eye, so a dark muscular structure which is present just behind the cornea is known as the iris, and this iris gives you the different colors of the eyes. Okay, so there is a very small opening just in between the iris, that is known as the pupil. Okay, and the size of the pupil is controlled by the iris. Now you can ask me, like, how the size of the pupil is controlled by the iris. Yes. Okay, now let me tell you, when you are going to a place like it is a very dark room, okay, and you have like very low intensity of the light is present in the dark room, right? Now what will happen in that case, the iris will make the pupil to expand and allow more and more light to enter inside our eyes, so that in the dim light also we can see everything around us, right? That is how the iris control the pupil. And just in the opposite case, when there is high intensity of light and a very bright room you are going into, what will happen? The iris will make the pupil contract at that time, and that is how, in order to decrease the amount of light which will enter into the eyes, क्योंकि तब तो उतना light का जरूरत नहीं है, right? It will not that much intensity of the light is not needed for looking into the very bright light, right? So this is how the iris actually control the pupil in both the cases, in case of the dim light as well as when there is the bright light. Clear hai? Okay, so till now we have already studied about the cornea, yeah. Then we have studied about the iris that is present in front, just behind the cornea, and in the middle of the iris there is the pupil. Right, now let us move on to the main structure of the human eye. This is very important, a very important diagram also. You can get this diagram and it can be asked for you to label the different parts of the eye. So be very careful and practice this diagram at home, right? Okay, so let us find out what are the different structures, what are the different parts. Okay, now starting from the cornea, as I have already said that the cornea is just in front of the eye and the back portion is the sclera, starting from here. Okay, just inside the sclera, the second portion is known as the choroid. Okay, I'm writing over here. And just inside the choroid, there is the retina. So these are the three main coats of the eye, right? Now coming to the iris. Can you see the blue color over here? This is the iris. Okay, and just in the middle of the iris, there is the pupil. Okay, so iris actually will give you the different colors of the eye, and in between there is the pupil. Now just behind the pupil and the iris, what is present over here is the lens, very important thing. And the lens is actually, it is attached in both the sides, upperward as well as the lower side, by the muscles which are known as the ciliary muscles. Okay, the ciliary muscles actually help the lens to contract and expand, okay, so that we can see the different objects in different situation, right? So the ciliary bodies are present just beneath the lens and above the lens, which help the lens to stay intact in a particular position, as well as to increase and decrease the, like, what we can say, the thickness of the lens. Fine. Now just beneath the ciliary body we can see the conjunctiva is present. Fine. Now coming to the backhand side. The back side is having the retina, which act as a screen, and this retina, on the screen, what is formed? The image is formed. Okay. Now we have already got an idea that what are the different types of images according to whether they are falling on the screen or not, right? We already know that the virtual image cannot be taken on the screen, it cannot be formed on the screen, but the real image can be formed on the screen. So what type of screen is the retina which is present inside our eye? It is the real, what type of image will be formed? It is the real image, right, which will be formed on the retina. Now coming to the optic nerve. Optic nerve is the main nerve which is going from the eye and carrying all the stimulus, all the messages towards the brain, so that the brain will process everything and we will be able to see all the thing around us, right? Now coming to the macula, the yellow spot where the mostly the, like, the clear image will be formed. The image which is formed on the yellow spot is the clearest image, and there is another blind spot which is present just in between the uh, optic nerve, where there is no continuation of the retina. You can see where no image is formed, right? And we can see over here the blood vessels are present which are giving the nutrition to the eye, so that the eye will get all the nutrients properly and make the eye moist. And we can see over here the vitreous body or the vitreous humor. This is the whole jelly like body which is present in between the lens and the retina. Clear hai? Okay. Now these are the different parts of the eye we have already discussed. Now let us find out each one of their functions. Fine. So as you have already seen that the iris is the part which is present just beneath the, just inside the cornea, and that is the part which gives a proper color to our eyes, right? So we have the various types of colors of our eyes, may it be the blue or green or brown or black or various shades, right? Exactly. And that colored portion is the iris. Fine. And can you see just a dot, a black dot in between the iris? That is the pupil. Okay, so the iris control the amount of light entering into the eye. So I have already said how they actually control the pupil to contract and expand in the high intensity of light and the low intensity of light respectively, right? And behind the pupil we have already seen that the lens is present. Okay, now coming to the lens. I'm trying to draw a very simple structure of the lens. The lens seems to be like this in the human eye. So what type of lens is this? A concave lens or a convex lens? A convex lens. Okay. So the convex lens is present in the human eye. Okay. So over here it is convex because the two different ends are like having the edges. We can see the cone shaped ends, and in between there is thick, right? The center of the lens is thickened. So the lens focuses the light on the back of the eye and on where the image is forming on the retina. Okay, so it will help the light to pass through it and the image will form mainly on the retina because it acts as a screen. Now we will study a very important part of the eye, that is the retina. Okay, so the image of the object which we are seeing is formed on the retina. So what type of image is formed? The real image, right? Now the retina contains several nerve cells, and the sensations which are felt by the nerve cells are then transmitted to the brain through the optic nerve, and then the brain will process that we are looking your surroundings surrounding is having this object, and we will be able to see all those objects, right? So this is how the eye actually works. Now let us find out what are the different cells which are present within the retina. The two main types of cells which are present within the retina are the rod cells and the cone cells, right? The cone cells are responsible for the bright light vision as well as the color vision. So these cone cells help to sense the bright light, okay, and the different colors of the object. Whatever color you can see around you, these are all due to the presence of the cone cells within our retina, right? And coming to the rod cells, these are responsible for the dim light vision. Dim light vision means during the night time when the light intensity is very less, then you will be able to see the different object clearly because of the presence of the rod cells. Clear hai? Up to this much I guess everything is clear till the retina. Yeah, whatever is present within the retina, what are the different cells which are present, what are the different parts which we have already studied before it, right? If you have any question, please ask me, please write it in the chat box. Okay, now coming to another very important part which is known as the blind spot. So I'm trying to draw again a uh, very simple structure of the eye. Okay, so there will be the lens and there are the various layers. Okay, I'm trying to draw the layer of retina. Okay, now can you see if this one is the retina? So the retina which is having the rod cells and the cone cells are not continued over here. This is the optic nerve. Okay, let this be the optic nerve. Okay, so just in between, just in the center of the optic nerve, the retina is not continued. Okay, let me try to mark it with a different colored pen. Okay, so this is the portion where the retina is not present, and as the retina is not present, the rods and cone cells will be not present over here. No sensory cells will be present, right? So no vision is possible at this spot. Okay, so over here in this spot, no image formation will take place, and this spot is known as the blind spot. Clear? Yes, got an idea what is the blind spot and how it is forming, why no image is forming on the blind spot? Clear hai? Because the discontinuation of the retina. And over here, from here, whatever images are formed on the retina, everything is carried through this optic nerve towards the brain. And then the brain will process all the images, and they will be able to see what we can see around us. Clear hai? So this is all about the human eye and the blind spot and everything. Retina, the cornea, the sclera, you have studied about the pupil, iris. So whatever you have in class 8th syllabus, this is all about that. So you can study this eye in detail again, all the parts as well as their function, more about it in class 10th you have it. Okay, now coming to how the image is formed now. Okay, so the image whatever is formed in the retina does not vanish immediately. Now look into some distance, and you just look whatever object you have in front of you. Okay, and gently close your eyes like this. So you will find out that the image which you saw last will persist or will stay within the retina, and it actually persists about 1/16th of a second. Okay, so it does not vanish immediately. Whatever image is formed on the retina, it stays for some time, like 1/16th of a second it will stay over there, and you will be able to like sense it sometimes, right? Yes, have you ever done this? If not, please do it and see. Okay, so now you can see that then what will happen to the continuously, if you see again and again the movie screen. Okay, so if you go to the cinema hall and the movie you are watching, so continuously something is happening on the screen, right? The images are going again and again, like one after another it will come, right? The different scenes, right? So the movies that we see actually have a number of separate pictures in a proper sequence, right? So they are made to move across the eye, usually at the rate of 24 pictures per second. So this 24 pictures per second will be much faster than the 16 pictures per second, right? Clear? Eh? Okay. Now what is the function of the eyelid? So we have already discussed about the coat, the refractory media. Now coming to the protective part, which is very important, and this is the main protective part which help us to protect our eyes from any sort of other uh, like other substances or other particles which are present in the air to enter inside our eyes, right? So as you already know, this is the eyelids are present, and it prevent the eyes from unnecessary objects to get inside our eyes, right? So the eyelids also shut out the light when it is not required, or you don't want to, or if you go to the if there is a sandstorm or any sort of storm you are facing, so immediately like what happened, yes, it's a reflex action, like right, that you will close your eyes, right? That is because the eyelid do not want any of the unnecessary substances to enter inside our eyes, right? And when it is not needed, when the light is not needed at all, we can close our eyes, right? During the sleeping, like which we do. So during the sleeping, we need to take rest. We do not need the light over here and there, right? Around us. So that is why the eyelid help us to close our eyes during sleeping and take proper rest. Clear? Up to this much clear, I guess? Yes? Now, coming to the comfortable vision of our eyes. Okay, so the eyes make you see the distant objects as well as the nearby object clearly and comfortably. So, can you tell me what is the most comfortable distance between your eye and any object to see it clearly? Yes, that is which we call as the near point of the eye. It is 25 centimeter. Okay, so for the normal eyes, to be very specific, I'm again telling, for the normal eye, you will be comfortably see any of the objects when the object will be at the distance of 25 centimeter from your eyes, right? You cannot see the object like this, or you cannot see the object like, yeah, it will be the far point is infinity. Definitely you can see very far away objects, but if you keep the object very nearby to your eyes, you will not be able to see that properly, right? So the normal distance for the normal eye, which is comfortable for looking into, is 25 centimeter from your eye to the object. Clear hai? And this point is known as the near point of the eye. Fine. After this much clear? Okay. Now you have already seen various peoples are using the glasses, right? They are wearing the glasses to see the different things better. Why do they need the different glasses? Even we can see the different very small babies are also using the glasses, right? The spectacles nowadays, right? And obviously the old age people, after a certain age, due to the degeneration of the cells and all, they to obviously they need the spectacles. So why do they use actually these glasses? Do you know anything about it? Yes, because there are people who sometimes can see the near objects very clearly, but they cannot see the distant object clearly, and vice versa also. The people are also there who can see the distant object properly but cannot see the near object properly, right? So these two conditions we will mainly study as the nearsightedness as well as the farsightedness. Okay, so the people who can see the objects which are close to them very clearly but cannot see the distant objects that much clearly, they are suffering from the condition which we call as the myopia. Okay, or we can say this as the nearsightedness. Okay, so they use the lens. So the doctors used to give them the lens, the eye specialist used to give them the glasses which are having the lens, which are generally the concave lens. They generally use the concave lens. Now, can you say like why they are using the different type of lens or the glasses to see everything? Why the image is not forming on the retina? No, actually, in this condition, the proper image is not forming on the screen within our eye, that is the retina. Okay, so the image is forming just in front of the retina, and to adjust that, the doctors used to give them the lens, and the power, a specific power will be there in the concave lens, and they can see. Then, using the lens, they can see the different objects clearly, right? Now let us find out what happens when the people can see the distant object properly but cannot see the close object clearly. This condition is known as the farsightedness, or it is also having the other different names, which is known as hyperopia, or it is also known as hypermetropia. Okay, over here the image which is formed is behind the retina. Okay, so in case of the myopia, the image is forming in front of the retina, and in this case, like the farsightedness, or we can say the hyperopia, the image is forming behind the retina, and the doctors used to prescribe them with the convex lens. The specific power is given to the patient, and they are advised to use the convex lens. So this is how we will be able to adjust everything with the vision of our eye, and we can see all everything clearly, right? So got an idea what is myopia and the hyperopia? Yes, the nearsightedness and the farsightedness, and what are the different types of lenses which we should use in these cases. Yeah. Okay, you will study more about it again in the higher classes. Now, have you ever seen that during the old age there is another type of problem which makes the lens very much cloudy? It can happen sometimes due to the different types of other disorders also, sometimes like the diabetes. Okay, so what is that? The lens becomes very much cloudy and it gives a eyesight which becomes very much foggy. You cannot see properly, right? This condition is known as cataract. Okay, so this is a vision problem which is known as the cataract, and we can only treat it by going through the surgery. Nowadays the surgery of the cataract is known as the phaco surgery. Okay, so these are the very common things we should know. And now, when this cataract is not treated properly, it can lead to loss of vision also. Fine. In severe condition, this cataract can lead to loss of vision, and it can be cured by replacing the opaque lens with the help of the new artificial lens. Okay, so this is done by a surgery, and it is done by the phaco also. Clear hai? Up to this much clear? If you have any question, please ask me, write it in the chat box. Okay, now let us move on to how to take care of our eyes, because eyes, again, I am telling you, it is a very delicate sense organ. Without eyes, we will not be able to perceive any sort of objects. We will not be able to see any sort of objects, right? So, too little or too much light is very bad for our eyes. So, never try to read or study at night without switching on the light, or during the daytime also when there is no proper light in your room. Okay, try to light up your tube light or any sort of, with the help of the light, try to study. Okay, never rub your eyes. If any sort of particles enter in your eye, please wash the eye with a clean water, or you can go to the doctor, eye specialist, but never rub your eyes. Okay, be very careful about your eyes. Fine. Always read a normal at a normal distance for the vision. So never try to read it like this, taking everything, your books and copies. Sometimes what students used to do, like you all do, you write it, keep your hand like this and write it like this in the examination hall, right? I have seen this one. So please don't do this, please. Okay, so keep a safe distance between the copy or book what you are reading or writing from your eye, and maintain that distance, and it will help you for your proper vision. Okay, otherwise it can damage the tissues of the eyes. Okay, and another thing is very important, please take a proper balanced diet which will consist of the vitamin A. So vitamin A is very much important for our eyes. Okay, so you will get this vitamin in mainly in the carrot and the tomato, mangoes, and the various green leafy vegetables. So please keep all these vegetables in your diet, and it will help you to keep your eye very good or healthy. Okay, so you have already studied about the deficiency disease of the vitamin A, that is night blindness. Okay, to avoid it, please take proper amount of vitamin A in your diet. Clear? Eh? Okay, now let us move on to the last topic of discussion, that is how the blind people read and write. Okay, how they can see or they can feel or they can read and write, they can study in their lifetime. So there are the people who cannot see through the eyes also. We call them as the visually challenged person. So some of them are born in that way without like they do not have the vision from the very first of their birth, or they may lose their vision or eyesight because of the different types of diseases in their whole lifespan also, right? So they identify the things by touching and listening to the voice very carefully, so the other sense organs are developed, more developed in them, right? And also they sometimes take the help of the different additional resources like the lens or other different types of resources, right? Now we will study how they read and write. Okay, so in 1821 the very famous scientist Louis Braille first developed the system which is known as the Braille system for the visually challenged people, and he was also a visually challenged person, and he developed this one. Fine. So what is this consist of? This Braille system has 63 dot patterns or the characters, and each character represent the letter. You can see over here the very small dotted portion. So they used to go through the dotted things on their with the help of their hands. They can feel it and they will be able to understand the words whatever is written in the paper, right? So each of the character represent the letter, and obviously a group of letter will form a proper word. Jesse, we also study ABCD, and those are the letters, and the combination of all these ABCD, we form the word. Similar type of thing also happen over here. So these are the different alphabets, the Braille alphabet from A to Z. We can see the different number system, as well as there are the like the different quotation mark, the opening paragraph, or the like the brackets are there, closing the quotation mark, hyphen, semicolon, colon. These are all the different types of patterns of dots are followed, and according by feeling all of them, they will be able to understand what is written over there, right? So this is all about the Braille system and the total chapter of the light, and we have studied a lot about the eyes today, right? So quickly let us discuss the question answers. Okay, so my first question is, what are the function of the iris? Can you tell me? Let me see who can give me the correct answer in the chat box first. What is the main function of iris? It is the part of the eye which gives the distinctive color of our eyeball, right? So this iris also control the amount of light which will enter inside our eyes. Now coming to the second question, name the types of cells which are present within the retina. There are two main types of cells which are present in the retina. Can you name them? Rod cell and the cone cells. What are their function? Cone cells help in the, it is responsible for the bright light vision as well as the color vision, and rod cells help to see in the dim light. Okay, coming to the third question, what is the most comfortable distance for a normal eye to read? The most comfortable distance from your eye to your copy must be not less than 25 centimeter. It must be at least 25 centimeter. Clear hai? Now coming to a case study based question, that is, while playing something entered into the Ria's eye. Okay, she immediately washed her eye with cold water, but as the irritation persisted, she immediately reported to her class teacher. Her class teacher took her to an eye doctor. Now, what should be done if some foreign particles enter in your eyes? We should splash it with clean cold water, right? Do not rub it. Fine. Now, secondly, why is it not advised to rub the your eyes when there is an eye irritation due to the foreign particle? Because it can make scratch on your cornea and it can damage the tissues. So never rub your eyes, okay? If anything get inside your eyes. Coming to the third, do you think that Ria was right in her action? Definitely, she was right in her action. Informing the class teacher would help her to go to the doctor also, right? Okay. And what is the value of Ria we can see over here? She is intelligent, aware of the small type of accident, as well as have knowledge about the eyes and the delicate organs, right? So these are the answers. You can go through it one by one. Okay. So let us find out some of the facts of eyes. So the human blinks an average of 4,200,000 times a year. Okay, so in 1 year we can blink like this number of time. So the eyes are made up of over 2 millions of working parts. Okay, and thirdly, ometophobia is the fear of the eyes. Over here, what happened in ometophobia, actually the person cannot tolerate any eyes, they cannot see, they have a very much fear when they see any eyes. uh, they can feel like the panicked, they can sometimes become palpitation happens, the shaking happen, dizziness, shortness of breath. These are the different things which are the symptoms of this ometophobia. Okay, and this can be only treated by using the hypnotherapy. So this is also very dangerous. So we have studied all these things in today's session. As we I can understand that you have already understood all these things, like we have studied about the inside of the eye, what are present, what are the different parts of the eye. Then we have studied about the vision of the eye, how we can see everything through the eye. Then we have studied about how to take care of our eyes. And finally, we have studied about the braille system, which help the visually challenged person to read and write. Right? So these were our topic of discussion for today's session. So thank you for being with us, for being with Swiflearn, and I think that you have already studied, you have already understood whatever we have discussed in today's session, right? Okay, so stay with us. We will again meet in another session. So if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe our channel in YouTube. Press the bell icon and never miss any of the update of the upcoming sessions of Swiflearn. Please be with Swiflearn, like, comment, and share with all your friends and family members. Be with us. We will again meet in the next session. So till then, bye bye. Take care. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye bye.